All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. This is a weekend edition, so I want to go through a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about what happened with the miners this week. I also want to talk about what's happened over the course of the last month. And then, of course, we're going to look at some year-to-date numbers as well. There's a lot of different trends going on. Some big stuff is happening. The market is starting to pick some winners and losers. We will see if that trend continues. So a lot of interesting data and information. Also, a lot of this week's price action, I think, was based on the fact that several of the Bitcoin miners came out with their quarterly reports. So look for a bunch of deep dives coming on those. Let's take a look at what Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners did this last week. So this is Friday over Friday. Bitcoin was up 1% this week. So this is several weeks. This is 5 or 6 weeks in a row where the Bitcoin move has been either 0% or 1% or 2%. There's two I want to talk about in specific to start off. And we're going to look at the top of this chart. BitDeer was up 34% this week. Intraday on Friday, they got up almost as much as 50% on the day. So BitDeer right now by market cap is the third largest Bitcoin miner of all the publicly traded Bitcoin miners, and it had this gigantic move on Friday. So the second best performer of the week was Cleanspark. I talked about this a lot on the live stream. I was impressed with their results. So they were a little bit more consistent. They had a very nice update on Thursday, and then again a very nice update on Friday. So they were up 20%. So you'll see from here it was a really mixed bag. A bunch were in the green and outperformed Bitcoin, and then you're going to see a bunch of these in the red and underperformed Bitcoin. So I want to go all the way down to the bottom. Mawson is down 24% this week. This is the smallest market cap company out of all the publicly traded Bitcoin miners that I follow, which is 19. I don't know why the gigantic downward push over the course of the last month, so drop in the comments if you know of anything that's happened in the last 4 weeks to drastically change the momentum of that stock. So this is the picture of what happened this week. Let's take a look at year to date next, and then we're going to take a look at the last 4 weeks, essentially the last month. If you enjoy this content, I really would appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. We still have a lot of viewers that are not yet subscribers. It is free to subscribe, and it does help the channel out a lot. So if you're willing and you're interested and you enjoy this content, it is much appreciated. You can subscribe to the channel, you can smash the like button, and you can hit the notification bell if you want to, so that you can be notified every time a video is put out. So this is the year-to-date activity. So I wanted to show you this before I showed you the chart of the last month, because the last month has been very, very difficult, but I want to keep in perspective. So of all the Bitcoin miners that I follow, only Mawson is in the red year to date. They're down 20%. All of that really has happened in the last 4 weeks. They were green. And then you have Any, which is Sphere 3D. They are only up 6% on the year. So you're going to see on this chart, a lot of these companies are up 200, 300, 400, 500%. So to be up only 6% is drastically underperforming their competitors. In gold, you're going to see Bitcoin. So year-to-date, Bitcoin is up 77%. Very, very strong move. Still the best performing asset, really, out of all the commodities, equities, etc. The rest of the Bitcoin miners have outperformed Bitcoin. I talk about all the time on this channel how Bitcoin miners are supposed to be a leverage play. I call them a 3x leverage on Bitcoin, but they can act anywhere from 3 to 4 or 5x leverage, sometimes even more so depending on where they're at. And you're going to see a lot of these companies are behaving properly. Now, I will say, if we remember 2022, hopefully everybody's memory isn't so short that they've forgotten. 2022 was an absolute disaster for these companies. We did hit the bottom. We have turned around, and we're in the middle of a pretty serious bull market for the Bitcoin miners in particular. So I'm going to start at the top of this list. Core Scientific's up over 1,000%. They are still in Chapter 11, so that is traded over the counter. They're no longer even traded on the NASDAQ. So you'll see, I don't really want to spend a lot of time on them, but if you did take a chance on them, you know, this has paid off big time for you. Cypher's up 555% year to date. So that's a 6.5x from where they were on January 1st. And we've had a lot more than that. The last bull run back in 2021, both Marathon and Riot more than 40x'd in less than 1 year. So these are the types of moves that can happen. I'm expecting these types of moves to happen between now and the end of the next bull cycle for some of these Bitcoin mining stocks. So if we just take a look at a few more of these, Bit Digital's up 497%, almost 500% on the year. Iris Energy, 353%. Riot Blockchain, which is the largest Bitcoin miner, is up about 350%. They did peak at up 440% at one point earlier this year. Marathon, the second largest by market cap, is up 335% right now. And then you'll see a bunch in the 200s. So TeraWulf, Bitfarms, Hut, Hive, CleanSpark, all of those are between 220 and 280% to the upside. I've been kind of issuing a challenge. Let me know in the comments, do you know of any other industry that's up on the average over 300% year to date this year? With that, let's take a look at what's happened in the last 4 weeks, because that has been an entirely different story. Okay, here we go. This is Bitcoin over the last 4 weeks. So the first thing to notice is this chart is entirely red. Every single Bitcoin miner is down over the last 4 weeks, some down significantly more than others. So you'll see at the very top, CleanSpark is only down 6%. They are the fourth largest Bitcoin miner by market cap at this point, and we're going to look at market caps next. So that has been a very good performer over the last 4 weeks. Down 6%, obviously, you don't want to be down, but very steady in what has been a very tough 4 weeks. Core Scientific, same thing. They had an incredible run-up of over 1,000%. Yet over the last 4 weeks, they've only pulled back 6%. Over a 4-week period, Mawson's down 56%. So this is a giant pullback in Mawson. Again, drop in the comments if you have any thoughts or concepts or ideas. There's been no press release. There's been no SEC filing. There's really been no change in the narrative around Mawson. I'm not sure why they are melting down while most of the rest of the Bitcoin miners have been thriving. Riot and Marathon are the two largest by market cap, and they're down 18 and 20%. Those are big, big moves to the downside. So some of the smaller micro cap companies, they can have bigger moves like this. It's not that hard to move a $20 or $30 million stock, but these big companies like Riot and Marathon that are $2.5 billion to $3 billion stocks, for them to have these big moves is a big deal. So again, this is one of those things I'm trying to put in perspective. We got a lot of different time frames. Last week was a rough week. The last month has been a rough month. But this year, even with this rough month that we're looking at right now included in it, remember the last chart we looked at, other than Mawson, all of the stocks are in the green this year. And a lot of these stocks are still, even with this pullback, up 200, 300, 400, 500%. So we got to keep that in mind. What I'm looking for as I look at this chart of 4 weeks in a row of tough activity in the Bitcoin miners, as Bitcoin itself has basically gone sideways, I'm trying to see, have any of these kind of overreacted to the downside? Are there some buying opportunities in here for those positions that I'm personally in for the long haul? I am a buy and hold on a lot of these companies, so I'm looking for opportunities to add to some of my positions. Okay, lastly, let's round this out by taking a look at market caps. You'll see next to a lot of these names, you're going to see a little star. They issued their most recent financial statements, so I have updated their market cap based on the number of outstanding shares that they report. With that in mind, some of these are adjusted. The rest of these I typically take just from Yahoo Finance. Numbers 1, 2, and 3 have remained the same. Riot is still the largest company by market cap. They are down to $2.7 million. That is still the largest by market cap. Marathon still sits at number 2 at about 2.5, just under $2.6 million. BitDeer, which is new to this game, they just went public about 3 months ago, so they haven't been reporting for long. But right away, they're all of a sudden the third largest market cap. They had a gigantic increase in market cap just on Friday. Remember, Friday alone, they were up over 30%. So this is a $1.4 billion market cap company right now. CleanSpark is now just under a $1 billion market cap company in a week where most of these Bitcoin miners had a very tough week. With the release of these financial statements, their stock was up 20% this week. So that puts them at just under a $1 billion market cap. So that moved them up from 6th place up to 4th place. Then you've got Cypher in 5th place at around $935 million. Then you have a little bit of a drop off. Then you go to Hut at 658 million. HUT is one of only 3 companies that has a sizable amount of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Then it goes to TeraWulf in 7th place at 541 million. Then you'll see Bitfarms at 431 million. They are in 8th place by market cap. Hive at 400 million in 9th place by market cap. Core Scientific, which is technically traded over the counter, they are no longer on the NASDAQ. They will relist after they get out of Chapter 11. So they're at a $319 million market cap. Iris Energy at 311, Bit Digital at 295 million. And then just to show you, the next closest one in 13th place is Argo Blockchain. You get this giant drop off from just around $300 million down to $77 million. And all of the rest of the Bitcoin miners that we talk about are smaller market cap than that. So a lot of micro cap and nano cap companies still within these Bitcoin miners. Hopefully there was some good information in here for you guys. A lot more information to follow. So stay tuned for what I think is going to be a bunch of videos this week. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please remember to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks again, and we will see you in the next video.